Deep in the mountains, where trails are forgotten and the air is thick with moisture, lies the Valley of Shadows. The locals warn against venturing there, not because it's difficult to reach, but because the fog that lingers never disappears. Hikers who enter often don't return. Those who do emerge speak of strange whispers, shifting shadows within the mist, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. But the most terrifying thing is their eyes, empty, hollow, as if part of their soul was left behind in the valley. One such man was Mark, an experienced mountaineer who dismissed the legends. Armed with a map and a flashlight, he set out alone, confident he would find a way through. As he stepped into the mist, it swallowed him whole, muffling every sound. His footsteps made no echo, and the world around him slowly lost its shape. An hour passed, and Mark realized he was walking in circles. The markers he had left on trees had vanished, as if something had erased them. His compass spun uselessly. Then he heard it, a soft, drawn-out whisper just behind him. He spun around, but no one was there, only the fog, denser than before. More whispers followed, coming from every direction, murmuring his name. Then, in the distance, he saw something, a figure, barely visible in the milky haze. It stood motionless, but Mark felt its gaze locked onto him. Panic gripped him as he turned and hurried in the opposite direction, but the mist thickened, becoming almost tangible. Something brushed against his shoulder. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. Slowly, he turned, and that's when he saw them. Dozens of pale blue faces emerged from the fog, their eyes empty, their lips moving soundlessly. Among them, he recognized a few, people who, according to legend, had disappeared in the Valley of Shadows. Their gaunt bodies cast no shadows, as if they were nothing more than echoes of the lost. Mark ran, but the fog grew heavier, pressing against him. Each breath became harder. His legs felt trapped in something unseen. The last thing he felt was cold hands tightening around his arms, and thousands of voices whispering in his ears. Mark never returned. Weeks later, another traveler approached the Valley of Shadows. In the mist near the edge of the trail, he saw a figure, pale, motionless, its hollow eyes staring. Something about its face looked familiar. Then he heard his own name, and the fog swallowed him whole.